Today's episode is brought to you by Modern Grower. Modern Grower is your source for time and labor-saving farm tools, such as the Paper Pot Transplanter, Quick Click Seeder, and the Jang Direct Seeder. Turn laborsome tasks into free time with tools by Modern Grower.
Can we sort of break down the economics of it? Because I know we have some property. We've got like five-ish acres of like good fenced in pasture land. The previous owner they had horses here, so there's like a really nice horse barn and access to water and good fences. And so we've talked about like, it's a real shame that we've got this property and we're not, we've got 9 chickens and 3 ducks. It's like we're not really, we're not really making the best utilization of the space. And so I'm always kind of like trying to think like, what can we do? Do we do pasture-raised lamb? Do we do some like, do we do like cooney pigs and kind of go the primal pastures route and do that? And so I've obviously like run through the idea of like, well, maybe we'll just do like a supplemental kind of pasture-raised egg production thing on the side. But realistically, like what are sort of the economics? Like how many birds per acre? What are you looking at profit margin wise? Like at what scale do you need to be to begin to make kind of a regenerative pasture-raised egg operation profitable?
Yeah, a sort of ballpark number that I give folks is that and I don't want to give too many details in terms of like what we pay farmers and what we charge to retail stores, because our competitors are out there and they always want to
for sure,
they're coming after me for sure. But I always give farmers a rough ballpark number of, depending on feed consumption for your hens and how you control feed, how much access to how often you move your coop around, that sort of thing. You can net about $800 to $1,000 off of 300 to 400 birds per month. And so, some of our smallest farms only have about 300 to 400 birds. Some of our larger farms have like 3,000 birds, and so that starts to, create quite a bit of variation, obviously, but it does give you the ability, if you don't want to put as much into it on the front end, if you want to build your own small mobile chicken house and put 1,000 birds up, you can do that, relatively affordably compared to putting up again, like a $2 million chicken barn. And what we found is that farmers can make more on smaller flocks with us than they can a 10,000 bird flock with, a big pasture-raised egg company, simply because one, my margins don't have to be as big, because our whole operation is me and a delivery driver right now. So I just don't need a big profit margin, so I can pay the farmers a lot better. And the flip side of that too is none of these guys are taking out loans to put up, a mobile coop with us. So maybe you've got $2 million in cash sitting around that you don't mind, putting a chicken barn up, but most guys don't. So they have to take out a loan. And then obviously interest payments are fairly high at the moment. So,
and a lot of these guys are getting the money, like they're getting the loan from the company that they would be turning around and selling So it's kind of that old school, you owe your soul to the company store at the end of the day. You're buying the birds from them. You're paying the loan on the barn that they paid for you to build. You're buying feed from them. Like I know at least in the sort of the meat bird operations that we have around here. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it is completely vertically integrated, but it's like, but we buy from small independent family farms. It's like, but like they're enslaved to you from start to finish.
Yeah. And that's what's challenging too, is that, like you said, it does feel like, I can't remember that proverb, which proverb it is, but it says like the borrower is slave to the lender, and I've talked to a lot of farmers with a lot of poultry barns, and that's how they often feel. And I've even met farmers who put up a barn for some of these companies. And then, so, this was one thing that kind of broke my heart whenever, seeing it from the corporate side, is that I saw farmers who were Amish or Mennonite, and they wanted to return back to their land, kind of back to their roots. They wanted to stay on the farm, stay with their family, work the land, and that sort of thing. And so they get told by this company that they're going to cash flow a certain amount per month if they put up a certain size barn, 10 and 20,000 bird barn. And then they come back, they take out a loan to build the barn, they put birds in, and then all of a sudden it doesn't cash flow the way that they were told it was. And now I've seen farmers negatively cash flow on a 10,000 bird operation, have to go get a job off the farm to pay just to keep that farm, just to keep the barn going, make the payments on the barn, and like, that's the worst of both worlds, because now you're in debt and you still have to go work another job, and so that was one thing that we really wanted to prevent for folks. And so we try to make our options pretty flexible. Like, if you see our Instagram or anything like that, most of the pictures you're going to see are just from my backyard coop back here because, it only takes me 5 minutes to go take a picture of that versus driving to one of the other farms. And so two of us have that style of coop where it's kind of like solar powered. It's like, the sort of higher end of mobile coops, very convenient, basically a poultry barn shrunken down, into the size of a trailer. But then some of our farmers just have handmade systems where they've built it all themselves. We have one farmer who has 1,000 birds in a mobile coop that he moves by mule every day.
Wow.
Because he's an old order Amish guy, and so yeah, he hitches up the mules and moves it on skids. So you can do that pretty cost effectively if you compare that to a large poultry barn.
Hey there! Tired of spending forever seeding nursery trays by hand? Meet the Quick Click Drop Seeder. It makes seeding trays super fast. Just a click and you're done. You can seed multiple trays in no time, making your nursery work way easier. Plus, it works with paper pot trays, microgreens, and any other tray that you have. Say goodbye to tedious seeding and hello to more time on the farm. Join hundreds of other farmers and try the Quick Click Seeder today. Available at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below.